Welcome to another episode of a Different Perspective podcast. I'm your host, Mike Green. First of all, before we even get started, I want to tell everybody I appreciate you guys for liking, commenting, sharing, reposting, all of that type of stuff, man. If you haven't followed or subscribed yet, make sure you do that right now for me before we even get started. Thank you. So today, my guest for today is Miss Victoria Wilson, an entrepreneur, good headed. You know what I'm saying? She got a good head on her shoulders. Like her perspective is really needed as far as when it comes to the women. And I feel like a man shouldn't really be talking to no women. That's why I started bringing more women on so you guys can speak from y'all perspective.
Correct.
So before I even go any further, without further ado, you guys welcome Miss Victoria Wilson. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing just fine. First of all, I just want to tell you that I greatly appreciate you for even having me on and just helping me step outside of my comfort zone because I know that my voice has been very needed for a very long time. And like I told you, I've been hiding from this. So I want to tell you thank you for even pulling me out of that.
I
And my
appreciate
name is yes, my name is Victoria. I am the owner and founder of a local medical spa here down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is World of Aesthetics. And I work with a wide range of women from all different walks of, oh my God, all different walks of life. And a little bit about myself, my background. I am the mother of two. I have an almost 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. And I had my first child when I was 16 years old. I come from a very large family, but not a family who is filled with people who are living up to their fullest potential. So I am that one in my bloodline that stepped out into this world of entrepreneurship and I didn't look back. So I'm the one that's literally like I have breaking those generational cycles. And and yeah, it's just my entire journey, man. I can look back over it and honestly tell you it was destined. It was so much so everything about what I am doing right now, Michael, is needed. Is needed from when I'm working with these clients. So some people look at my platform from surface level and they think it's all about the body, but little do they know I'm helping a lot of these women work on their mindsets. And so that's what I want to dive into tonight. I want to talk about women, their mindsets, and what we are seeing right now in the world of marriage, the world of dating, and the whole entire domino effect that all of this is causing and it's stemming. We want to blame it on the men, ladies, but it's stemming. We are the cause of a lot of it. So I definitely want to dive into that tonight.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Before we go any further, let's, just so people can get a little more familiar with you. You said at
Yes.
16, you
Yes.
had a child.
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was it like being a mother at 16?
Okay, so let me just say this, Michael. So first of all, I want to let the audience know I am a very transparent person. So I wanna bring y'all into my world. Okay, I'm a very raw, real person. Okay,
Yeah, that's what we want.
so yeah. So let me just say this: my path of having a child at a very early age wasn't hard for me, should I say? And I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't hard. I've I was that person in the family, when the older people sat around, they said that girl done been here before. I
Yeah.
was that person in the family, right? So I've
Yeah.
been always wise beyond my times. I was the one in the family that was the kid, but I was watching and babysitting and taking care of everybody else's children. So I
Yeah.
knew how to do a lot of things and I knew how to maneuver through life and make things pop and work at a very early age.
Yeah.
Now, when I started dating, I was never attracted to guys in my age range. I've always dated guys that were much older than me. And see, my daughter's father was somebody who was already well established. He was well off in life already. He was much older than I was. So I didn't really have much of a struggle when I say being a parent. The only thing that I can say is that it deprived me of a lot as far as my childhood. But again, like I told you early on, a lot of that was meant because if it wasn't for me actually having my child at the age of 16, when I look back on my life, I don't know where I would be at today. And I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be talking to you.
Right. Right. That's what's up, man.
Mhm.
So let's dive into the meat and the potatoes. You said you wanted to talk about women and the state of where women are right now. What made
Yes.
what made you want to talk about that?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons that made me talk about that, and I am going to start from the root right now. Then I'm going to work our way down. One thing that I realized, being a woman and having to run a business and get out here in the world of networking and collaborating with other women, right? I am the person that I don't have to do much. Like prime example, when we knew we were scheduled for this call tonight, I said, hey, you said 6:30, and I said, hey, can we push this back to 7:30 because I just be coming home, right?
Right,
When you called and I missed the call, I was just coming in unpacking my suitcase, right?
right.
So I was just coming in getting situated at home. I knew I had this interview, and the average woman would have said, knowing that this whole interview about to go viral, the
Yeah,
average woman in this day and age would have said, I gotta go put on makeup, I gotta go get all dolled up, I gotta go do all of this. I
yeah,
wasn't doing that. The only thing I did, jumped in the shower, threw on something, my hair was already like this, and I said, this is what it is. I'm coming just like this, right? So
yeah,
I realized early on having to get out here and network and collaborate with other women, right? And me being the type of person who just coming as I am, I'm very transparent, I'm very honest, and I am just who I am. I'm coming just like this.
right.
It makes a lot of women who have to be made all up, it makes them uncomfortable. So
Mm,
now, although they want to be friends with me, right? They want to connect with me based on my connections, my mind, my resources. But it's something about me over time makes them uncomfortable around me. So I
right,
begin to ask myself, God, is this me? I had to sit back and ask myself for a while, is it me? But I know the person that I am. It can't be me.
right.
Then over the years of me diving more into my business, I realized, I said, this is it. A lot of women are masked. They're covered up. They're covered up in the materials.
Mm,
Their surgery has became a thing that anybody can go have access and go do, right?
right.
So now they're getting the bodies made up. There is no such thing of women even having stretch marks anymore. And here go old Victoria, don't mind showing her little stretch marks because I'm gonna show mine.
Yeah.
But it's all of these things that's stemming. And so I look at the men and I have to honestly say, I feel sorry for men in this day and age right now. I truly do. I feel sorry for men. I
You,
feel sorry for men.
when you say something like that, women think you tripping. But
Yeah,
I've noticed it's a lot of women that's starting to come out and speak the same
yes,
thing that you're saying. Like actually,
yes,
because you know, uh, it ain't too many women that'll actually be honest and say, hey, look, we're the problem. Sometimes we're
yeah.
the problem. And we can't blame all this stuff on the men.
It's
So
not. It's
yeah,
not. It's not the men. It is surely the women. Because you think about that. Think about that. Think about men having to date and peel back the layers of women. First of all, y'all got to peel back all the layers of the makeup, right?
yeah,
You got to start with that first. That's the first thing. Then you go through the front door and you got to hope and pray that their mind is in the right place. Because a lot of
yeah,
them are not in the right place mind wise. I'm telling you. That's
yeah,
the reason why now. And doctors, let me say this, doctors, these plastic surgeons, they know that a lot of these women are not in the right headspace because now every single plastic surgeon center here in South Florida has a mental health therapist office inside of their practice. Why would they have that? Why would they have that? Because they know that a lot of these women are delulu up top. And I have to deal up with it every single day, every
yeah.
day. And so I understand. Think about a man having to deal with this, a man having to date this. Think about that. That's hard.
You
Did you?
you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of these women are so big on BBLs and all this other stuff, and they don't even know the origin of it.
No, they don't.
They don't know
They
the
don't.
origin of it. So this is
They
so this
don't.
is where it came from. Back in the 80s or whenever, you know what I'm saying? There were homosexual men that that felt like they wanted to be able to compete with women. See, a
True.
natural woman or natural woman didn't need to go get no titties and ass and
At
none of that.
all.
She
At
came with
all.
that. That was the package she came with. But the homosexual men, so they can compete, they started having these surgeries. And after a
Yep.
while, what they started doing, when they started having the surgery, the regular women started feeling like they wasn't in competition unless they got it. So here it is, it then spread it all from
Spread it
that. You
like
have you have
wildfire.
nat- you have natural women that's competing with, and it ain't nothing against the transsexuals and nothing like that, but you have natural women that feel like they have to compete now. You get what I'm
True.
saying?
I totally understand what you're saying. Absolutely, I understand, and you're right about what you're saying. And that is, think about that. You. Think about a woman who was born a woman. Here you are competing against something that you can't compete against. You understand?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But then I even look at, sometimes I'm in the grocery store and I see the women who have the asses that don't even make sense, right? They're not comfortable with this. They're
Yeah.
not comfortable with it. That's why they keep turning around. Because if you're comfortable with it, baby, you just gonna walk and let it do what it do.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable with any of their decisions that they have made, and that's the reason why you see Nicki Minaj has had hers removed. K Michelle has had hers removed. Cardi B done did her few little alterations here and there. They're not happy with it, and they realizing the long-term effect of all of this health-wise. Why you think Black China went and took out everything that she put inside of her body?
Yeah.
There is a long-term health effect that nobody is talking about, but they don't want to hear any of that. It has their mind blown. They're not happy with themselves. I'm talking about their mental state is not in the right place, and everything is all about a body. Because I come from the type of upbringing of women where there was, you took care of yourself, but your body wasn't everything. It was more so of your brain, what was up top, right? And see, when we say men are now thinking in their minds that women feel like they don't have to follow behind the man's lead anymore, right? So men are
Yeah.
so all in their feelings. You hear that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, men can no longer lead anymore. And guess what? How could you lead that? How could you lead that? Here you are, you thinking you leading a woman because you classified her to be a woman because she have a vagina, but that doesn't make a woman a woman. So you in a whole battle. You
Yeah.
thinking that you about to lead something and you cannot lead that. You cannot lead. Listen, these women have their minds all made up that is all about the body. They have
So,
nothing
so
up top to think with.
let me ask you this: Where do you
Mhm.
what do you think is causing all of this though? You get what I'm saying? Like there's an underlying issue. Of course, for me, I feel like a person that, and this ain't no knock to nobody or nothing. You know, whatever you
Yes,
do, it's on you. But I feel like
yes.
there has to be an underlying issue where maybe you're not happy with yourself or whatever. And being that you're in this profession where you deal with people like that, what do you notice is like a reoccurring thing with the women you deal with?
They're chasing something that they're never gonna get.
Mm.
They're chasing something that they're never gonna get. It's a root cause to it, but the root cause is they battling with probably childhood traumas. The men that they dating, they don't probably caught pictures in the men's phone of women that they are now trying to go look like. All different types of things. The average woman who have had plastic surgery did not do it for herself.
Mm.
She didn't do it for her. Competing against your friends, trying to live through everything, every social media model that you see down your timeline, all of that. You trying to battle with the man that you now dating. You trying to look like what he is accustomed to, his exes. It's a
Hmm.
lot of things that goes on with that. It is, listen, the average woman who have had plastic surgery did not make that decision solely because she woke up and said, I want to be the best version of myself going into this next following month. That's not it. That's not the story.
Look, you hear a lot of women nowadays say they don't need a man.
Oh,
What is your take on that?
I need a man. I need a man in all areas, right? Because I don't want to listen. I am very strong minded. I got my shit all the way in order. I take care of my kids. I listen, my morals, my principles, and all of that is very much so in check. So I'm gonna tell you, if I'm where I'm at, and I'm telling you that I need a man, I don't see fit for a woman to ever have to say out of her mouth that she don't need a man. I don't understand it, and I'll
What you
never understand it.
what you think is causing them to say that? It might
Oh,
be look, it might see growing up. Now look, I'm
yo,
trying to be
listen.
politically correct, you know, but growing up, a lot of women were raised with just they mamas. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? And
Yes.
even though you know we like to look at single mothers as strong and shit like that, some
Mm-mm.
single mothers chose to be single, but we don't want to
Yes,
talk about that.
absolutely.
You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? But
Yes.
you know the child, the young lady will see her mama struggling, and you know I'm gonna say, you know, I could do it too. I feel like that's
Yes.
part of it too. Instead of, if you know, if you're a single mother and you know how hard it was for you, I feel like you ought to be training and teaching your child against that. Hey, you might want to be married or have a family before you start trying to have you get what I'm saying? But we don't
They're
do that.
not. They're not. And I'm gonna tell you, they're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. That's not it.
Yeah,
Listen, listen to this, Michael. We living in the era of women tapping into entrepreneurship. Women who ain't never seen money a day in their goddamn lives. You
yeah,
understand? Women who ain't never seen a dime a day in their lives, right? They done
yeah,
tapped into this social media money and this online money, and boom, it done made them get besides themselves, and now all of a sudden they don't need a man. Okay? They living
yeah,
the life in their minds. That is a major part in it. That's a major part, and that's why you have a lot of men who classify women who are successful, right? Because
yeah,
there's a big gap in between women who do have money. You got the ones who successful, and you got the ones that just got money, right?
yeah,
Now they classify those type of women to be women who got a little bit of something going on for themselves. They hard to deal with. No, it's not. You just dealing with the wrong type of woman with the
yeah.
money. That's it. So
Talk
money
on
is
it.
playing a
Speak on it.
money playing a major part in this shit. I'm
Yeah,
telling you right now, I see it. I get women who come to me and listen, Michael, you wouldn't believe I'm such a private person. I have a lot of things to give thanks to God for, right? But I'm
right.
so private, and I feel like the truth don't need no proof. So
Yeah,
I've never been the type of person to flaunt what I have, to talk about what I have. You ain't gonna never in your life hear me talk about money. That's not my thing. But I get around women, and all I have to hear, it could be our first time really encountering each other, right? Instead of you trying to make me know you and not the materials, all I have to hear is about what they drive, what type of purse they have, the clothes they buy their kids. And in my mind, I know, baby, you ain't even equipped to stand beside me as a friend. Because you
yeah,
doing all the other things. You leading with materials. So I know you ain't got nothing else. You have nothing else. So I'm just telling you my experiences as a woman with women. Think about what these men are going through. They
yeah.
catching hell. They catching hell. And you
You
know
know,
another thing too. Go ahead.
you hear nowadays they don't want to go to certain restaurants. Uh, so look, it was a
Baby,
video.
I'm going to Denny's with mine. I'm
Say
going to
so look,
Denny's with mine.
it was a video. It was a video of a young lady, and she was talking about a dude that was trying to shoot his shot at her. Right. So
Okay.
he hit her in the DM and was like, "Hey, what's your cash out? I'm gonna send you something for lunch."
Uh-huh.
He sent her $30. He never met her before, nothing. He's just trying to shoot his shot. He sent her $30. She talked so bad about this man behind the $30. Now, I know one thing about how it is out here because I got partners.
Yes.
These niggas ain't trying to give you nothing. You meet
Nothing.
today, they trying to go to the room tomorrow. You need to be lucky if a nigga take you to the
No,
finish.
today.
You get what I'm
You meet
saying?
them,
But
you
a
meet
lot,
them Tuesday. You meet them Tuesday at 8 a.m. They excuse my language. They trying to fuck you Tuesday at 10 p.m.
yeah, and that's just the truth. But a lot of women don't understand that. To me, it's like they can't identify the good man. You get
Oh,
what
they
I'm
can.
saying? Money, everybody's so saturated with the money to the point where even if a good dude was in their face, they couldn't see it.
So let me say this. Let me say this. And this is some real spill if I ain't never said it, right? I don't attract just any type of man, right? Men who fairly got their shit in order is what I attract, right?
Right.
But I've been able to witness lately that is something that terrifies these men, although they got it together.
Yeah.
It terrifies them to be in the presence of a woman that they can't lead with their money, right? And so many times, because I don't waste time. When I can identify that you can't identify the type of class of woman you got in your presence, baby, I'm out. I don't waste no time, right?
Yeah.
Every now and then, if I really see a little potential in you, I'll pull you to the side and say, hey, brother, this ain't how you really do this, because I'm big on that. But what I realize is men are so accustomed to leading with their money now, because these are the women that they've been dealt with, so they think this is how it goes,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they lead so much with their money. And everything that it's like an exchange. It's an exchange. So I have sex with you, and there go the money on the nightstand. There is no seeking and looking for women who are serving purposes in their lives. There is no any of that. It don't even exist anymore because this is what women are giving them and accepting. So they think this is acceptable, and they think all women like is like. accepting that same exact thing.
Say, I'm gonna tell you this. Let me give you a different perspective, right?
Okay.
I think the reason why some of these niggas are afraid to talk to successful women is because it shows how weak of a man they are.
Yeah, they have to change.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing when you can come in and, you know, you have a female that just solely depend on you, or you feel
Yes.
like you have an advantage over her. When they come and they meet a woman on their level, that's intimidating.
It's
Because now
very
you have
intimidating.
somebody, see, when they deal with the little girls gonna let them do whatever as long as they buy
Whatever.
purses or keep whatever. But when you
Because they're
deal
trying,
with a
they want
woman,
something. The little girls want
when they
something.
start dealing with a woman, the situation changed. Now you have to be accountable. And a lot of niggas ain't, no matter how much motherfucking money you got, if ain't nobody taught you how to be accountable, you not gonna be accountable. And some
Yes.
niggas can look at a woman and be like, you know something, she ain't gonna put up with my shit, so I'd rather just not even try. I'll go deal
So
with
true.
Keisha. You know what I'm saying, man? I go
So
get her a
true.
Fashion Nova outfit, and you
Yeah.
know, and
It's so
she gonna
true.
let me do whatever, you know.
Very true. Very true.
So
They
it ain't.
prefer to have they.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying they prefer to have their ego stroke, and them same bitches turn around and make them have a stroke because that's what they like. That's it. That's what they
Yeah.
like. For me, I'm gonna say this: when I meet a man, I am trying to, and you have me in your space. I'm trying to figure out and identify what area is this person lacking in, right? I'm trying to figure out what area they lacking in so I can serve them in whatever way, right? Rather
Right.
that be with your kids, rather that be something that you're missing with your business, rather that be something that you personally missing within yourself, right? That's me. Man, when I tell you, it is, listen, men are not accustomed to that. A lot of them are not there. That's just not what they're getting anymore. But this is how I was raised, and I can't depart, I can't separate myself from it. So
Right.
this is the result of a lot of women right now. When they look at women who got it together, they saying she got to be the problem. No, baby, we're not the problem. We're not the problem. It's our morals and shit is in check, and we looking for what we looking for, and it ain't out here no more. It's
You
like
know.
we swimming
You,
in a shit pool.
you know. Not all women.
Hmm.
Not all women are thinking like you. Some women are in a position of power, and they can't
Yes,
handle it too.
I
It's
know.
some it's some women that are successful, and they, whether you know, if you're in a career field that's dominated by men, right? No matter how
Yes,
feminine you came in, that'll make you have that dominating attitude because you feel like you got to compete too, right? So
true. Very true.
when some of these women meet men, even though
Mhm.
they don't mean for it to come off like that, some of them can be a little too aggressive, a little too,
Yes, yes,
overbearing because
yes,
you know, I've always had to take the lead, and you know, it's hard for some people to just take.
yes,
And you know, I ain't
yes.
saying you have to let
True.
somebody lead off top, but take the back seat and get to know somebody, and don't have so much of a guard up.
Yes, very true. So very true. But man, it's just it's the times are different. It's just different out here, and it's so scary because I think about when Tupac said it was gonna be a race of babies that was gonna hate the ladies.
Yeah,
That's the meaning right now that we witnessing right now, right? Yeah, he said that a long time ago. That was said. Look at the amount of men who are now dating men. When I heard Shaquille O'Neal, did you see the podcast where the clip where Shaq was saying he's never felt comfortable enough and never had a woman in his life that he's ever able been to vent to. He's never had a woman that he's ever just let it all out to. You didn't see that podcast?
nah, I ain't see that.
Man, I'm gonna send it to you when we get off of here. It blew
Okay,
my mind. It blew my mind. But I understand him though, and I'm gonna tell you why I understand him. And I'm not discrediting any woman that he's ever dated, or any woman that I've ever seen him with, right?
right.
But depending on what your purpose is, this is what a lot of men don't understand. Depending on what your purpose is for this lifetime, for your life, right? Just a woman being a woman, a good woman, being able to come home and clean up and be loyal to you and take care of kids, that's not enough. Some of these men out here who are destined for greatness, you need a woman who done been through some shit. Because a woman
Yeah,
who done been through some shit, she got a different level of understanding to life. You understand?
Facts.
And when a woman
Facts.
have a different level of understanding to life, that woman makes you feel like home. You are able to come home and release everything. Because remember now, men are physically stronger than women, but you guys are not mentally stronger than us. And that's just
Facts.
facts on facts. So a lot of men are looking at women and saying, "Oh, she's loyal, she's soft, she listens, she take direction, she can raise the kids." No, depending on what your purpose is and what God got written for you, you gonna need to get with you a woman who understand life. And in order for somebody to understand life, they had to what? Experience some shit.
Facts.
And a lot of these women ain't cut from that. A
Yeah.
lot of these women are not cut from that. They was born with silver spoons. They ain't never been through shit. And a lot of these men are dealing with it. So now let's look at Shaq at the caliber of a man that he is. Think about what his profession has brought him, all the stress, all the bullshit, all the drama. And this man went through all of these many years and have never had a woman in his life that he's been comfortable enough to come off of the road from playing weeks and weeks of ball and being able to say, "Baby, this is what I'm going through." Now think about the emotional effect long term. Think about that.
But you
Okay.
know, not too many women make it available for a man to be able to share what he's going
True.
through.
Very
We
true.
as from a boy, we're taught that we have to be strong, we can't cry, we can't show no emotions, none of this type of stuff, right? But then at the same time, we have all this stuff bottled in. A man really needs a woman. See, all that money, all the looks, all that shit is cool. The older you get, the more you're gonna realize, like, man, you
Yes.
need somebody with substance. Cause when the when
Yes.
when the tidal waves and these big waves start hitting the boat and shit start capsizing, you need somebody that's gonna be in there with you. A
You
lot
better
of
get
these
them.
women don't make it easy for a man to come out and be vulnerable because we're taught
True.
we have to be a certain way. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Very true.
More women need to make it cool. Like, if
But a smart woman don't want a man who don't cry. Because I need you to cry around me. If you ain't
yeah,
crying, something wrong.
you
Something
know,
wrong. I need you to cry around me.
I used to be like that too, man. I used to look at dudes and be like, oh man, he's soft and but a man also even though he's masculine, he needs to be able to tap into that side to have some type of a balance of understanding. You get what I'm saying?
True.
Like he
Very
has
true.
to. You can't just be,
Very true.
for example, I got boys, right?
Okay.
With my boys, I'm rough with them. Sit down, do this.
Yes.
I talk to them
Yes.
like boys. I found
Yes.
myself doing the same thing to my little girl. When I talk to
Oh,
my boys
oh.
like that, it was cool. They just, oh, dad, they probably say something slick and go on about their business. When I talk to
Uh-huh.
my daughter like that, it broke her down. It hurt her.
Oh.
It ain't like I'm saying nothing wrong to her. It's just the tone of my voice. Then I have to
Wow.
understand, like, this is a woman. I can't,
Yes.
even though she's my daughter, she's gonna grow up to be a woman. And whatever I give her, whatever I'm pouring into her right now, that's what she's gonna think is okay. So I had to tap into that other side. Even though I'm
Yes.
upset, you got to be able to bring it down at a drop of a hat, and so you can have these conversations or whatever. But
Very true.
if more women made it easier for men to be vulnerable, I think that'll be a good start in a good
It's
start as
beautiful.
far as a solid foundation in a relationship.
Yes, it'll be beautiful. We will begin to see men pull back layers of themselves that they didn't even know they had. We
Yeah,
will. But see, that take the right type of woman. Ain't no any listen, it can't be on you. That gotta be in you. That
yeah,
has to be in you. And that don't come by way. This is something that can't be taught. So when people ask me, especially when I meet older people, they always say, "Man, you act so older." I can't tell you how I got like this. The only thing I can tell you is I was raised up around older people. So I can tell you right now, this is not something that you grow up and somebody teach you. No, this thing gotta be in you. That just don't come like that. So think about it.
yeah.
It's just gonna be a lot of women out here in the world that don't have that ability, don't
You know,
have that ability.
on another note, we don't talk about this a lot, but it's a lot of women, especially
Mhm.
in the black community, that's been
Yes.
abused by an uncle, a
Oh yeah.
cousin,
Hmm.
somebody, and that
Yes.
trauma hasn't left them. Even though they're 25, 26, 30, they're still that little girl that got touched when she was 5. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying?
True.
Like
Ye
we
very
don't we
true.
we don't That's something else that we don't talk about. We don't make it safe for women to come out and say, hey, this is what I've been through. And then on another
Yes.
note, when people come out and when women do come out and lie and say, hey, this is what I've been through, and they didn't go through that, women need to
Yes.
shame them so more women so they'll stop doing that. Because
Very true.
see a lot when it comes to black women, that's something y'all don't talk about neither. Y'all don't get on their
Uh,
ass like when a motherfucker come out and lie and say, hey, I was driving down the street and I saw a white boy in the middle of the
yep.
street and I jumped out and they stole my wig and they took me and get
Uh-huh.
snacks, and
Carly.
a motherfucker need to shame everybody like that because
Yep.
they're crying wolf. And it's really women out here that's saying, hey, look, this is what I'm going through. And they don't get that recognition that they need because there's so many women crying wolf.
True. Very true. I was looking through some comments when the girl recently, the young lady Carly, the one
Yeah,
who said somebody kidnapped her on the side of the road, come to find out she did that to get attention from her boyfriend. You remember the
yeah,
story recently, right?
yeah,
But I began to read through the comment section because I said something. I said lock her ass up, right? I was all down for them locking her ass up and throwing away the key, right? I was, because
right.
you need to pay the price when things like that are done. Because, like you said, you got people out here who have really experienced these levels of trauma, and here you are over here playing. But
Yeah,
I began to see people come attack me on the shade room about what I said, right? And everybody else, a lot of people was babysitting this. But this is what we do from the beginning of time. We babysit the bullshit. So when we have people like you and I who don't tolerate the bullshit, it's just like what I said yesterday. You the one that's not normal. You're
yeah.
not normal. Because
It's something wrong with you.
there we go. There we go. Because you can see through all the bullshit. I'm down with what you said, and I can honestly tell you there are a lot of women that's dealing with childhood traumas. And see, this is the part of my business that I can't advertise online. See, a lot of women come to me and it's not about their bodies. They're not coming to me after they've had surgery. They're not coming to me to lose weight. It's just something about them that they've been following me online and they just feel comfortable enough to come book an appointment because they feel like they can release whatever it is, right?
Right.
There are so many women within a year's time that I outsource to therapists just based on the shit that they come to me with. Because I know that I can't, this is not my profession, but I can help you. I can link you to where you need to go get the help from, but this
Right.
is not something that I can help you with. And that's one of them. When I'm talking about the molestation at an early age and things of that sort.
We need to
And
talk more
so,
about we need to talk more about that.
yeah,
It,
that's real.
it when it come to us, one thing that and this, this ain't to beat us down or nothing, but one thing that I hate about us is we won't
Mhm.
be accountable. We won't be accountable, man. We'll see shit going on. We'll know it
Yeah.
ain't right. But the only
Yes.
time we'll be accountable or try to be accountable is when it affects us.
Yeah.
If it don't directly affects us, then we don't care about it.
Yeah.
That's
I
that's
agree.
that's part of the reason why some of these women can't have healthy relationships, why they
Yes.
can't parent the right way. You know, it's women that grew up with their mama and their mama
Hmm.
never even liked them like that. I dealt with no, look, it was this young lady that I was speaking to, right? She had sisters or whatever. And the mama
Yes.
would go out her way for everybody else and not her, right?
Understand.
Even though to somebody else that don't seem like nothing, you don't know what
Yeah.
type of impact that have on somebody growing up. And then they get in a relationship and they can't be committed because they may feel like everybody leaves anyway. It's
True.
it's a lot of things that
True.
it's a lot of things
True.
in our community that we don't talk about
But
that we
see,
should.
one thing we have to learn too, Michael. Let me say this, and I'm just gonna say this part here based on something that I personally go through in my adult life, right? In my
Yeah,
adult life, and I started early, really tapping into this and realizing that I wanted my mom to be a certain mother to me. But we tend to ask people to give us things that they don't have to give themselves, right? So I
fact,
had to learn to give her, I had to learn to give her grace, right?
right,
Here, my mother is, you've always been treated like the outcast of your siblings, right? Always been treated like the outcast by your own mother. So you never knew what it was to be loved or what it is to be loved. You don't know that. In
Yeah.
fact, I remember vividly, and this was about 5 years ago, when my grandmother was on her dying bed in the house that I grew up in, when she was apologizing to my mama in her last days, okay, for what she had done to her. And see, it's so wild and crazy, but I must say this. I must say this, and I want you guys to understand me, that when my grandmother passed, although this is somebody who was in my life all my life, I felt no emotions. I felt no
Mm.
emotions. I didn't know how to feel, right? I felt no emotions. I didn't attend the funeral or anything because I felt like my mother is the oldest out of 8 girls. So there's 7 other sisters. The 7 other ones, they were able to live a good life because they was loved by her. And their kids had great relationships and things with their parents because their mothers knew
Mm.
how to parent. You
Wow.
understand? But
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
I am. My mother is the oldest out of 8 women, right? And she is the only one. Everybody else have 5 and 6 kids. My mother is the only one that has one child. I am the only child my mother gave birth to. So here I am, the only child, and dealing with a mother where it's almost like I am the mother in the situation because I've never experienced even having that. You understand?
Yeah.
So I know that that is real. And if some people were supposed to see my situation, they would say, like a lot of people tell me, your mama got to be jealous of you. No, it's not that. My mother actually loves me to the best of her ability, to what she
Right.
know love to be. You
Right.
understand? So I forgive her. And what I do is, because when you love somebody, you are willing to teach them. So I teach my mother how to love and how to be a mother by way of the way that I join my children together around this same countertop and we sit down and we have Sunday dinner here. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm able to teach her. And the only thing I can do is just say, you know what? Where I know God is taking me at, I can't afford to hoard or hold on to what has been or fault my mother for what she didn't have no control over. I dare
Yeah.
not do that. I
Yeah.
dare not do that. So I have to give her grace and I have to move on, man, because I got my whole life ahead of me. And I don't want that to ever trickle down to my children. But I'm going to tell you somehow easily it can do that. Now,
Yeah.
here I am running a business. I started this business back in 2015. My children have been working in the company with me from the moment that I started the company, the business, right? And I think this year was a reality check for me, being that my daughter's about to be 20 years old. And I had to be, and we started to clash heads. Mind you, every day we together. Anybody that knows us, I'm always with my daughter. And I was like, God, how is it that I'm paving the way? I break so many barriers in my bloodline, showed my children the best of the best life. They've done been to the best of the best schools. For now, me to be in I think, the best, entering into the best parts of my life, and me and my daughter are at odds. How could this be? How could this be? And everybody on the outside is looking like her kids got the best relationship, but nobody knows that I'm in a complete battle with my child. But I had to come to her and we sat down and she explained to me, Mom, you know, I'm only 19, I'm about to be 20. You got to let me live life a little bit. You got to
Mm.
let me live life a little bit. You hold on to me too much. And I had to apologize because I'm going to tell you something. I caught myself holding on to my child so much because I never want her to, my children, or for me to be separate from my kids in what I experienced. So
Mm.
this is how, if you don't catch a hold to it and figure out a way to heal yourself, this shit can keep trickling down to generations as bad cycles.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know
Okay.
what else? You know what else is powerful that you just said that you did?
Tell me.
You apologize.
I did.
As parents, a lot of us won't apologize. I've had to learn to do that with my kids. They're
Yes.
human. These are
Yeah.
people. They have feelings. You can hurt their feelings and
Yep.
everything. And some parents, because of the way that we've been programmed to think, some parents feel like, oh, you the child. I don't owe you no
No.
explanation. I ain't got it. It's a
No.
lot of parents that need to be
Yeah.
apologizing for some of the
To their
shit they said
children.
to their kids, for some of the
Yeah.
things they put their kids through. Some of the kids, some of these little girls out here ain't fast just because they want to be fast. You get
They
what I'm
have no
saying?
love.
They mama,
They
they
have no
mama go to
love.
work or run the streets or do whatever, and they at home taking care of the kids. These
So
kids,
true.
some of these kids don't even have a life. Some of these kids have to grow up. I was talking to one girl, right?
Okay.
In my last interview, right? She said
Okay.
that her older sister had to watch them so much to the point where she didn't even want to have kids.
Wow.
She grew up
Wow.
wanting kids, but because of what she had to deal with, right?
Wow.
It's still kids going through that right now. But in the black
True.
community, I think we need to practice that more too. More apologizing to our kids and stop thinking that we right all the time. Because if we listen to them, that'll make a difference. If our kids
Yeah.
can, some kids can't even come tell their parents, hey, hey, the reason why I'm acting out is because I don't like your boyfriend.
Listen, it is, it goes on a lot. And I know this for a fact. Like every summer I go back to my hometown and I'll get like one or two of my cousins and I, put them to work. The younger ones, I make them work inside of my warehouse and things like that, just to give them something to do. And one of my cousins, I picked her up this summer that just passed, and she's only 14 or 15 years old. And when I picked her up and I pulled up, now mind you, I'm pulling up at the house I was raised up in, because my aunts, since my grandparents passed away, some of my family members still lives in the house. And so one of my aunts come out, the little girl's mom, and she said, talk to her. Because everybody know, the kids gravitate towards me. And she said, talk to her because she haven't been doing right in school. And as I got her in the car and we drove down the road, and I said, hey, what's going on with you in school? How's everything going? I never told her that her mama told me anything. And this baby looked at me and she said, when I tell you I had to hold myself together at the light to keep from crying and let her see like that I was really in my feelings about what she said, I tried to hold myself together. She looked at me because although I'm their cousin, they call me auntie.
Yeah.
She said, auntie, you know what? I just have so much on my mind. I'm going through so much. And I was like, how could a kid, 14, say she's going through so much? But I told my kids I understand her because what she's going through is what I done already been through and overcame. You understand? My family has a cycle to where when the kids get 14 and 15, they raise themselves. That's been the thing. That's been the thing. You understand? So to hear this child saying that, and when I had her working in my warehouse, man, she didn't even know. She laughing with me. She doing what I'm telling her to do. Man, Michael, I was just literally praying over her, like asking God the same way you delivered me and brought me out, although it's just me in this battle right now. But make it where many more of them come outside of that with me. You understand? So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so much that goes on in the black community that literally fuck our minds up. And nobody talks about it. It's literally fucking us up.
Yeah.
Truth. Nobody talks about it. And if you don't come from a family who somebody in the family at least is down for right, it's going to keep continuing on. And this is the reason why I am the person who is the outcast. I'm the one that they don't invite to family reunions. I can sit right here on this podcast with you right now and tell you I have not broken bread with my family over Thanksgiving dinner in the past 5 years. I don't know what it is to sit around a family and have dinner because that is how separated I am from the family. And that's sad to say, but it's the truth. It's sad because there's the one person who breaks those cycles. You are now the enemy. Because who the hell are you to come in and you young? You to come in after 4, 5 generations of this bullshit and these toxic cycles. Who the hell are you to come through the bloodline and think you gonna change things? We don't want your ass around. And that's my story.
You know, I used to think like I was very big on family. I still am big on family. But I've learned something.
I'm big on my family.
There you go. There you go. Uh, if you're that person, if you're that one person in the family that say, hey man, I want more out of life. I want to do something better
Yeah,
for myself. And the
yeah,
family get to tripping, fuck them.
true.
You get what I'm saying? If
Yes,
you've experienced something in your
yes,
family and you say, hey man, this is what happened to me, and nobody want to listen and nobody want to believe you, don't worry about it. Move around. Move
yes,
around. Because that's one thing
yeah,
that I realize about God. God will never take nothing away from you without replacing something with that. He's always going. It's people that you've met along the way in life that's more family to you than your own family. You
yeah,
just because they family don't mean that they get to beat you down or treat you any kind of way. So many people stay there because,
yeah.
oh, this is family. That's my family. I don't want to go to Thanksgiving dinner that bad to the point where I'm gonna let y'all handle me any kind of way. I have my
No,
own
me neither.
family. I
Me
have
neither.
my own family. Most
Yeah.
if people start understanding that your first obligation is the family that you create. That's your
Yes,
first obligation.
yes,
Everybody else outside is bonus. But your first obligation is the family that you create. Why you think in the Bible
yes.
it say when a man finds a woman and they get married, he leaves from his mother and father and cleave to his wife because that's his first obligation.
That's very
You
true.
know, so if for anybody listening, if family is tripping, fuck them.
Yeah, you have to. You have to because I Listen, man, I can tell you that when people are falling and not doing well in life, if you too close near them, they'll drag you down with them.
Yeah,
They'll drag you down with them. You just got to get. I had to learn, and for a very long time, I've always battled with having like this sense of feeling in my mind that okay, I'm doing well for myself, but it's not that anybody's jealous, or it's not this, it's not that. It's neither of those things. We want to think that, but it's not that they jealous of you. It's not that they don't like you. And to be honest with you, Michael, it's not that they don't love you. They feel something that they can't describe. They don't know what the feeling is to see and witness this person here doing well. When I had these same, it's almost like you putting up a mirror to their face, allowing them to see everything that they are not. You understand? That's
yeah,
it. And they can't take that. So it's not that they don't like you and they don't love you. It's that they're feeling something that they can't describe. And that feeling causes them to just stay away from you. And for me, it's been the best thing for me.
yeah.
I just, it's been the best thing for me.
Yeah, it,
That's
it
it.
works. It works.
It does.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
You know, when I want to touch on dating, right? Because you know, while I got you on here, uh,
Okay.
it'd be good to have a woman's perspective.
Yes.
When it comes to dating, I feel like men and women,
Yeah.
they lose because they don't ask questions up front. Let
True.
me let me let me share with you what I mean by that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let's just say like nowadays, a man meets a woman meets a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of her asking him, you know, what's your credit score?
Uh,
What kind of do you have kids? What
mm-hmm.
kind of relationships do you have with your do you and your kids have? What kind of
Mm-hmm.
relationship you have with your baby mama? Are you behind in debt? These type of questions they don't ask.
Important.
You get
It's
what I'm saying?
important.
Hey, look,
It's important.
I'm not trying to judge you or nothing, but I just want to
Mm-hmm.
know up front. Do you like men? They don't
If
ask
a
these
man don't
questions.
ask me questions,
Huh?
if a man, I'm just gonna say this, and this is gonna be for my fellas and for my ladies. If a man don't ask you any questions about you, or if a woman don't ask you any questions about you, you better believe it's some sort of strategy that they using that, and they coming for something. Because a motherfucker that don't ask you questions about you, you got to wonder in your mind, what are you here for? You understand? So when a man don't ask me questions, I know automatically I am not, you're not interested in getting to know me. It's something else that you're trying to get from me. That's the,
A,
the first thing off the back.
a person that don't ask questions don't know what they want.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't know what
they
you
don't
want.
know.
But a person that knows what, and then you know, this is a way also how you can tell if a motherfucker bullshit.
Tell
If
me.
you get to asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how many women do you talk to right now? And they
Ooh,
start replying with certain stuff like, man, that ain't none of my business. That ain't none of your business.
yeah,
You know, we you
mm-hmm.
you trying to hide something. You get what I'm saying? Who do you stay with? You gotta ask these questions because people don't ask these questions and they call
They
themselves dating.
don't.
The first thing
They
they want to
don't.
do. I was talking to one of my guys before we got on, right?
Okay.
I feel like this, and people say whatever they want to say. I feel like in a
Okay.
relationship, when you first meet somebody, you ought to do the bare minimum. You ought to do the
Oh,
bare
for
minimum.
sure.
When when
For
when I meet
sure.
you, when I meet you and I like you, our
Uh-huh.
first date might be a walk in the park.
I'm
I
boom.
want to
Say
get to
it
know
again.
you. We're
Say
not
it
gonna go
again.
spend $500 just so I can figure
And
out
you
I don't
shouldn't.
like you. Where I want,
You
I want,
shouldn't.
I want to walk with you. I want to talk. Let me see if we're on the same page because after we walk, I might realize I don't want to do this no more. The more,
There we go.
the more we getting to know each other, the more we like each other. We can step it up. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not just gonna lead with the money.
I will tell fellas this. In fact, I just had a conversation a few weeks ago with one of my cousins, right? He's a nice looking man. He be dealing with the women. I say, listen, stop taking these women out on these expensive dates when you just meet them.
Yeah,
What you are doing is you are showing them what to gravitate towards, and that's your money, and the damn show ain't you. So now you don't created a whole monster and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. Stop taking these women out, spending a lot of money because the thing is, just like they say, men are simple. Women, and I'm not talking about little girls. I say grown ass women
women are
are
simple
very
too.
Very simple, baby. Take me to, I still like fucking picnics. Somebody might say that's crazy, but baby, listen, you can fix me some roast beef sandwiches and shit like that right there and have a blanket laid it out. Baby, listen, I'm good to go. I
Yeah,
still like stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? But that's
yeah.
weird to some people. I still love things like that because guess what? I want to see the personality. I don't want to see the paper. I'm trying to figure out the personality. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to see if your morals and shit and everything is in alignment with me. And by you taking me out on an expensive day and I got to keep my fucking legs crossed the whole time, I got to wear a tight fitted dress and all this stuff here and do the most, that's not it. That's just not it for me. I feel like I'm not able to just relax and release. I don't need you to take me on an expensive date. You don't have to do that with me.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something else that I think fucked everything up.
What?
Social media,
What?
and
True.
social media dating. These
True.
websites, these apps and shit like that, oh, they messed
Ooh.
everything up because people
Ooh.
are so disconnected from the reality of actually dealing with people. You know, back in the game, if somebody wanted to come holler at you, y'all ran into each other at the grocery store. You know, y'all could really have an interaction. It's none of that no more. People
Tell
get
me what you think
online.
about this. Tell me what you think about this. And this is something recent, right? And I had to explain to the dude. I say, listen, so that means you doubting the power of God if you don't believe natural, beautiful women out here exist. First, for one, I don't even want to get into that part. Let me backtrack what I was about to say because I was about to just release too much. But anyways, the individual, you just meeting me and you want me to FaceTime you. And I'm asking what is the reason that men are doing this now? Because I'm from the old school. I like it the old school way. You understand? If you that interested in seeing what I look like
Pull up.
on Instagram, pull up.
Yeah.
Catch a flight and come where I'm at. If you think that beautiful women don't exist in this world and you thinking some shit is you getting catfish, then I say pull up and you can see it in person. That's the only thing I can say. But baby,
Yeah.
what we're not about to do is hold no phone up like this. I'm not about to do that. I'm just not about to do that. I'm not. But these are grown men, man. These are grown men, and I'm saying to myself, man, damn, do I have to face the fact that I might die single? Because these motherfuckers, they got it all wrong. Michael, it's wrong.
But see, again, that speaks to the disconnect. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Instead of having a physical connection, man. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I got a cousin, right? And
Okay.
I used to, you know, he'd be on the dating sites, and he just
Oh,
meet
I'm
these
scared of
women.
them.
Listen though, he meet these women off the dating sites, right? And I asked him, I said, like, that don't bother you? For me, I can't see myself like getting on the site and hollering at
Mhm.
somebody that I've never seen, never met. It's just a
They do
picture.
it.
I can't
They
do that.
do it.
I
They
can't
do
do
it.
that. But
They do
nowadays,
it.
that's the thing. Like, people feel more connected with their devices than actually talking in person. But all of that is by design. Even the kids. You get
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. That's
Even
the
the kids.
setup.
The device and the access to the device is crippling people as far as them.
Yeah.
You know, it's people that'll sit up and have a conversation, a full blown conversation with you online, and then
You
y'all
ain't
get in
gotta
front
tell
of
me.
each
I
other
know.
and can't say nothing.
Listen, this is what I have to do to grown women, right? The type of business that I run, you might as well put me in the same category as a doctor's office, your OBGYN, right?
Yeah.
Would you go in your doctor's DM and discuss your test results? These women will literally come in my DM and I'm not the one checking it. My assistant is checking everything and send pictures of their natural asses, send long message of what they got going on with their health issues. And I have to call them and say, listen, this is not how you do this. You got to book an appointment and come in. So I'm telling you on both ends, it's all wrong. It's not just the
You know
male.
why they doing that? You know why they doing that? Because you black. If it was a white person running that office, I guarantee you they wouldn't do
I
that.
stopped. When
Look,
I tell you, I stopped their ass every time.
man,
Every time. I
I had
don't play with
somebody
them.
call me at 10:30 yesterday trying to make an appointment with me, and I told him, I said, bro, it's 10:30 at night, man. Like, people don't respect
Yeah,
business.
they
That's
don't. They
another
don't.
thing.
They don't think black businesses have structure.
Yeah, they don't look at us like, oh, we can be, you know, successful and we can operate as a functioning business
True.
like everybody else. They
True.
automatically think that because we're black, they
Yep.
can slide in the DMs and they can, you get what I'm
All
saying?
of that. All of that. All of that. All of that. I go through it all the time. Like for me, my thing is I like women. First of all, my grandma used to always say, I don't care how much money you can have $1 to your name, but if you fix yourself up and you look good, ain't nobody know that you got that dollar, right? So
Yeah,
I teach women, listen, it ain't what you got, it's how you carry yourself. You are not about to walk into my establishment with no damn bonnet on your head, because you should have left that at home, right? You coming into my place of business, right? You see me online, you see I be put together. Why would you want to approach and step in the presence of this young lady that's together, run a professional business, come in this lady place talking to her with a bonnet on your head? You don't feel no type of way. So
yeah,
that's one thing that I don't allow. I used to have a sign that say no bonnets allowed. So over the years, people know, now that girl, that don't play
yeah,
structure. And they ain't used to that when it comes down to Black businesses.
yeah. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
again, they haven't been, some people just haven't been taught. And that's why I started this podcast.
And I'm glad you did.
Many, I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Just this conversation alone is going to help somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just this conversation alone is going to help somebody because
Yes.
I'm big on honesty, man. I'm big on honesty and accountability, and that's the only way that we're going to grow. You know,
That's the only
if
way.
if
That's
if
the
I
only way.
said if I said everything that you just said, it'll be,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's right, it'll
Mm-hmm.
be wrong coming from me because I'm a man and I shouldn't be speaking on certain things. That's why when you hit me and you was like, "Hey, let's talk about this," I'm all for it
Yes.
because the conversation
Yes.
needed to be had. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But think about that. So how that's the reason why we have such a class, such a war with men and women, right? Because if a man is not able to check a woman, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Think about that. I don't mind. I don't knock it when a woman is checking me. And I damn sure don't knock it when a man is checking me. Check me. If I need to be checked, correct me. Stop me.
Yeah,
Because that's how we grow. So that should become a thing. Well, women are not looking at things in a weird way because men are speaking on what is right, what is true, and what's just facts. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. But I do know, listening to your podcast, I said, you know what? I gotta talk about this right here. See, he hitting on every head that I would think about as a conversation, but he just ain't hitting it from a woman's perspective, and he need me on here to say
yeah,
this.
yeah. And I appreciate you for coming on and saying it, man.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Before we get out of here, man, how
Tell
can I
me.
get in touch with you? If you
Okay,
know,
so I just created a new Instagram page as we discussed, but I am going to share with them my previous social media, my current social media page, so that once I do get everything up and running on the new page, then they can come follow me over there because I do intend on having more speaking engagements that highlight topics as such. So should I go ahead and give them
yeah, give
the
it to us.
name?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name on Instagram is Victoria Wilson dot one. So that's Victoria Wilson dot one on Instagram.
So, y'all make sure y'all go over there and follow her, support her. She be dropping gems like me. It's just coming from a female. We had a conversation yesterday. Nah, for real. I was like, man, your voice is powerful too. It's See, people think that words don't mean nothing. They think that it's cool for you to be out there hands on. It's cool. But
Mhm.
words have so much power. Why do you think the influence of music and the rap culture and all of that is so impactful? More people that have a voice that's been through something need to start speaking up. That's why, again, I wanted you to come on my podcast so you can speak from a woman's point of view.
I
I
am. And
thank you.
again, I want to tell you that I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. And yeah, I just look forward to everything that I know God gonna do for you in your life with your podcast and everything for your family. I know that for a fact, just based on you just giving me and sharing with me the words that you did because you didn't have to, but you was obedient and you gave it to me, and it allowed me to just say, you know what, Vicky, enough is enough. It just enough is enough. Do what you know you need to do. And so
Yeah.
I just appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Until next time, I appreciate you guys for tuning in.
All right.
Like, comment, subscribe. Victoria, thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You have a great night.